You're listening to the Business and Life Podcast, where 7 days a week, proven entrepreneurs share their success stories, failures, and give you true value on how you can build a great business and an awesome life. With your host, Mike Olivas.
Let's dive in business and life. Today, we're talking to Bobby Hicks. He's a digital marketer, a conversion design expert, and founder of Indiview Media. He's been featured on NBC, ABC, and CBS. Stoked for this. Check this out, guys. All right, Bobby, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So tell our listeners something interesting about yourself and also where you're calling in from today.
Yeah, man, I'm calling in from Lexington, Kentucky. We have an office here in Lexington. And yeah, man, just trying to stay safe from the coronavirus right now.
Oh, man.
Everyone's panicking.
They sure are. So by the time people listening to this, I'm hoping that it is gone by then, fingers crossed. But yeah, my company alone is suffering potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars for our national group travel company right now. As of like yesterday, we just found this out. So as I'm sitting here in Bogota, Colombia, talking to you, I am got a lot of fires to put out after these podcasts today, but I got a commitment to the people to make sure we rock 7 days a week to everybody. So thank you for jumping on with us and tell us a little bit what your company does, what it brings to the marketplace, the name of the course.
Yeah, man. So I do a lot of different things here. We have a web design agency called Indiview Media. And it's we used to do local advertising. So we used to work with a lot of local businesses, local clients. And I found that it was very difficult you cannot scale local business. You cannot scale local ad accounts, and it's a big challenge. So we started off doing web design, and we kind of naturally went into digital marketing, digital advertising, that sort of thing. And I was like, you know what? If we can't do 7 figures on just web design alone, if we can't scale that, we're not going to be able to scale anything else. Everyone thinks that, how can I earn more revenue? How can I earn more income? We'll just increase my service offerings. But actually, that's a trap that a lot of people fall into, right? If you can't get good at doing something really good, one thing really good, it's you can't scale it, right? Because it's all about replication, having systems and processes in place in order to do that. So that's one company that I have, and I've got a team there that focuses on that. And we're actually in the process of even niching down. Right now I say we'll do a website for anyone, but we're in the process of niching down even in the website design services that we provide. We have another company. So Indiview Media started off, like I said, web design evolved into kind of like a full service digital marketing agency. Now we've kind of regressed backwards to do only web design. But now I have another company that I'm a managing partner in called JS Media. And we have a lot of different brands from JS Media, but really we're a financial marketing company. And, being able to niche down and really serve the audience has really, allowed us to have explosive growth. Last month we did more in revenue than I did, in the last year and the preceding years before that, because once you have a niche, once you're able to develop systems and processes, you can actually scale.
Yep.
And, and people in the financial publishing space, they have money that they can spend. That's, a lot of people, when you're selling products to people, you got to sell to people that have money, right? I guarantee if you go to any college campus, you say, hey guys, who here wants a Lamborghini? Every single kid there wants a Lamborghini. Like there's no doubt. They don't have the money. They can't afford it, right? So if you're marketing products, like people genuinely may want your products, but if they can't afford it, that's another issue. And so that's kind of it's replaced all of our like local businesses. A lot of local businesses, they don't have money. They don't even have the ability to scale. They don't have the ability to close accounts. And close new business. And
I think that's a great point there, by the way, Bobby. I think, you got to being able to lock down a niche within your business. And then even furthermore, I'm sure in a few months or in 6 months, you'll start finding a niche within the niche. Right. And more importantly, knowing that you're not necessarily, knocking on doors that won't open, meaning going towards where there's some financial revenue to be spent and or invested in services like yours or a product like yours, like the college, obviously, analogy that you mentioned there earlier. Well, give me a time where during your entrepreneurship journey that you felt like you've kind of hit rock bottom, or like you said, you kind of changed around different brands. It sounds like a few times here. Tell me where you've kind of got close or hit rock bottom and how to overcome that and how you did it.
Yeah, man. So I would say maybe last year a couple of years ago I sold my company to another company, much bigger company, and they agreed to kind of bring me on as their director of marketing. Great company. I don't want to say what their name is because I want to protect their privacy.
Sure.
Great company. We did really well for them. We together we're growing kind of our ad agency together, but things really didn't ultimately work out. And I decided to leave, and it was very stressful at that time. Right. And they didn't want to sell me back the company at that point. And I just realized, man, the burnout, you can very easily be burned out, and you can really just overanalyze things and overthink things through. And it was just a stress that really just, I felt like I was in rock bottom, right? But I think that the greatest thing that I came to realize was like, look, man, none of it really matters as long as you just keep trying to do your best.
Yeah.
Like new opportunities will present yourself. I know people just like completely freaking out. And, I listen to Joel Osteen a lot. I love Joel Osteen, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that Joel Osteen will say, he says, like, look, man, sometimes you have, God will place obstacles in your life, in your path, because he's wanting to push you into your purpose, right? And I'm like, man, like now that I look at that, like anytime I have an obstacle or an adversity, because at the time, like, and I did a terrible job explaining like the adversity I was facing, but I was facing a lot of adversity at this point, like during the split, right?
Yeah.
But I just knew like, man, I just got to keep calm, like, everything's going to be all right. And, we had people who quit with me and was eventually able to negotiate the purchase back of my company. But it's very volatile times at that point. But I just remembered like, look, man, like God's trying to push me into my purpose, right? He's trying to push me into my destiny. And, this obstacle is just rerouting me, right? So you can either break down under the pressure, or you can just try to like, just do your best, try to remain calm, try not to be over emotional and overreactive.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, like I didn't know what I was going to do, but new opportunities presented themselves to you. As long as you're open and you're searching, and you don't have that kind of negative mindset, like things will work out. And that's kind of how I look at things now.
I think that's a huge
problems
way to
or
look
opportunities.
Yeah, they really are. How do you turn problems into opportunities? And it sounds crazy, but they are. We're that's what's going to happen during the entrepreneurship journey, whether you have partners or whether the coronavirus comes and ruins a lot of stuff for a lot of companies out there, and it happens, right? But what do you do? How do you turn that into a positive? What was your decision, by the way, Bobby, when it was all said and done?
Well, I mean, we ended up, I ended up, being able to negotiate the purchase of my company. And I think it was largely due in the fact that, I wasn't overly reactive. I wasn't overly emotional. Right. And I was able to keep a cool head. And then I started to realize, like, when you don't have that safety net of, a bigger partner or an employer or anything like that, like, I had to make some tough decisions. And I think that's when we made the decision to kind of split off, and only focus on web design for this part, and then kind of refocus our advertising efforts and niche down in another area. Right.
Right.
The niching down has been the most critical thing. That's like, you always know that people always tell you that you got to niche down, and you got to niche down, but it's hard to, I had to fire a lot of clients, man. Like I had to give up like more than half my revenue.
Yeah.
Right. More than half my revenue. To fire clients, and it felt like we were going a few steps backwards, but it freed up a lot of time and resources to reinvest into actually being able to niche down. And like I said, last month we probably did more in revenue than we did, the entire year last year.
What's happening, Life Nation? Michael Levis here. This is a time to do the right thing, not the profitable thing. I'm giving away COVID-19 business strategy sessions for free. I promise to give you my honest advice and coach you on a strategy that I feel would be best for the longevity of your business. I'm not asking you for your money, but in the interest of being able to help as many people as I can, I am asking you to be ready with your 1 to 2 specific questions so we can jump right into it. Go to michaellevis.com/coaching and simply schedule a call on my calendar. That's MIKEOLIVAS.com/coaching. Yeah, letting go of clients is scary because you're letting go of money, but once you have clarity of focus, it's pretty powerful, right? And look what happens. I mean, you have that clarity of focus of who you're going after, your demographic, focus specifically on how you can help them and actually bring true value. And for example, the financial marketplace, like that's huge. And you become the best at one thing versus mediocre at many. And too many people are trying to be the best at everything, and they end up being, nothing to nobody. And I think that's great advice. What are you excited about right now within your industry and your company?
Man, we are just working on cracking a lot of stuff, a lot of different campaigns, right? So we're doing like a mix of like client retainers, but then also affiliate marketing. And holy cow, I didn't realize like how much money you can actually make in the affiliate market space, right? Again, when you work with clients, you can be crushing it with clients. You can, we do a lot of lead gen too as well. But then, we don't build out people's entire funnels. And what I've come to realize too is that, you could be generating people a ton of leads, but their back end funnel's not developed. They're not going to be able to, get profitable results. And we can't do everything for everybody, right? But when you start building your own funnels and you start driving affiliate revenue and cultivating an audience and that sort of thing, you can do really, really well. So our goal is to, I don't know if people are going to be listening to this on a podcast or watching, but our goal is to kind of get our agency retainers down, bring it down and to get our affiliate, income, much higher. And people are crushing it. I didn't realize there's a lot of strategy that goes into it, a lot of work that goes into it, but that's what I'm most excited about.
Well, that's a great model, by the way.
Being able to do this affiliate stuff.
Yeah, I want to commend you on that, Bobby. I think you realize that at some point when you do that, you create value on so many different angles, but you're creating so much more value as you sleep. And you stop trading time for money. Bottom line, right? That's what that does for you. When you start doing that, you're starting to be like, cool. What? I got maybe more clients. They're paying less. They're super happy because they're getting more. You're getting more. Mm-hmm. It's a win-win across the board. And the ultimate goal, I think, across the board in entrepreneur world is, how do I stop trading time for money? And affiliate marketing can help you do that. I think that's an awesome angle and a great piece of sound bomb that we can give to the people out there, hopefully entrepreneurs and, let's say struggling and or aspiring entrepreneurs, that is possible. But it just takes some strategy like Bobby's talking about here. Let me ask you this. How have you kind of built, you've had businesses and you sold, you bought them back kind of deal, which I love to hear the ups and downs in that world because that's transparent and it's real. How have you built the life that you want to live, Bobby, within your businesses and making sure that they feed that life?
Yeah, man. I think for me, I love to live in, I don't like to live in fear. I know a lot of people, they operate really out of fear mentality. We study marketing. I study a lot of different types of psychology. I got this book right here, Personality Plus I'm reading. I got this Jim Edwards, Copywriting Secrets. It's all psychology. It's all, one of the big motivators is fear. And a lot of people operate in that fear zone. And when you live in fear, it really keeps you entrapped. I try to live in the opportunity zone, right? And I know really clearly what I want out of life. I want a life of abundance. I want a life, not just wealth, but health and relationships. Those the 3 pillars I like to talk about. I want all those. I want a good, healthy balance in each one of those pillars: my health, my wealth, and my relationships. And so you're just always trying to find a good balance. I understand, for me to do that, though, I have to have some type of financial security. And, that's why I grind as hard as I do, but you're always looking for multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
And you're always looking for ways, like I always say, like, how can I replace myself as quickly as possible, right? A lot of people don't want to replace themselves because, if they're at a job, they say, if I replace myself, then, replacing myself out of a job, I won't have a job, right?
Right.
A lot of solopreneurs or entrepreneurs or, business owners or self-employed business owners, they don't want to replace themselves because they don't think anyone else can do it. So really by just continuously learning, like, I try to read a book a week. I'm real consistent with that by consistently learning and trying to like systematize my business. That allows me to replace myself so that I'm finding ways to earn income. Warren Buffett says, if you can't find ways to earn money while you sleep, you'll be working for the rest of your life, right?
That's right.
So I work really hard now to be able to do that, and I can see it. Like I'm not there yet, but like I'm seeing, like I'm definitely going in that direction. Like you said, you're doing like 14-hour days right now. That's what you have to do. But I see the bigger picture, and I see that once we get these systems in place, I have income coming in that allows me to basically, invest the time, my time in whatever I want. With my family, going on vacations, doing things like that.
Yeah,
investing in more
absolutely.
businesses.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, sometimes there's some time to grind. Hopefully, grind the right way. The 14-hour, but then again, the 14-hour days are about 14 days a year.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's so I stack these and I got a year of content, right? And so then we create the affiliates and the drips and the connections across the country, and that's how, while I'm sleeping, people are listening, and business and life can get paid. And so when it's all said and done, I think that what you mentioned is just getting better, right? I say it all the time within even the commercial breaks on some of these, where it's just, in order for things, and Jim Rohn said it best, in order for things to get better, you have to get better, right? In order for things to change, you have to change. So pushing the heck out of self-development. I don't push it on a lot of people because sometimes people think it's more of like a religion, but like Joel Osteen, by the way, one of the best speakers like in the world, hands down. Like he has new content, like it's insane how much new information he comes up with from his head. Like it's pretty exciting. So, I mean, it's all new. And so I think there's a lot to be said about who you're listening to, and also making sure that you're just listening, whether it's to this, other podcasts, YouTube videos, and just getting better. Like Bobby's doing on a one book a week basis. I mean, Audible is my best friend. I travel a lot. Right now I'm in Bogota, Colombia. I'm all over the place. And coronavirus or not, I'm not living a life in fear, like you mentioned. I'm living in a life of opportunity. It is what it is, right? And this is my life, and I'm going to live it, but I'm also going to be learning. And more importantly, like I always say on the show, implementing. You can have a lot of knowledge and not do anything with it. So tell us a little bit about, all in all of your successes, I guess, Bobby, and your failures, of course. What is the one piece of pardon advice that you'd give to the business and life listeners out there today?
Never stop learning. That's the key to success is, you got to consistently be leveling up, right? I mean, I've met people who are way more successful than I imagine I could be there now, but at one point I never thought I could. And I'm just telling you, like, they're doing the one book a week. They're going to seminars. They're investing in conferences, I remember one time, like, I bought this book by Grant Cardone. I think it wasn't Sell or Be Sold. It was I think it was like the Closer Survival Guide. And I was in a sales related position at this time. Right. And I had this girl working with me. And I was like, hey, buy this book. Right. And she's like, oh no, it's too expensive. It's like $30. I was like, okay, fine, sure, whatever. Well, I bought that book and I learned some closes from that book, and I went and sold a $30,000 package. I got 20% commission. So I made about $6,000 on that, just from that $30 book, right? She actually that weekend ended up going to like a Taylor Swift concert, which, I can't fault her. Like, I love Taylor Swift too, but like, she ended up having to quit that job and working like, kind of a low end minimum wage entry level job somewhere else because she couldn't really cut it in sales. Right.
Yeah.
And so like the education process is so important. One thing I've kind of coined this term, I call it mental chubbiness, right? Like you look at The Rock, for example, right? The Rock is like crazy ripped. He's strong, muscular, right? Works out every single day. Now, every now and then he has big cheat meals, right? Now you can have a cheat meal every now and then. You're not going to get fat. Okay. But if you eat Chick-fil-A every single day, you're going to get fat, right? you gotta consume more good food, more healthy food than you do bad food. That doesn't mean you can't eat a donut every now and then. I love donuts,
Yep.
but you can't eat them every day, right? Well, the same thing goes to your mental health, right? And the mind's really the only thing that you have to work with. So like, what are you consuming every day? Like if you're listening to Cardi B every day, I love Cardi B, right? But Cardi B is the equivalent of like a donut for your brain.
Yep.
Like she's not like, it's not doing anything to empower you to, it's not teaching you any skill sets or any new skills or anything like that to develop you, right?
Right.
If you're going home and you're just binge watching, Netflix or, HBO Now or anything like that, like, look, I have to do that too. Like there's times I got to veg out, but like I'm still super committed. Like I go to I call it my mental gym every single day. I try to learn something every single day. I try to, just grow. And I think if you do that, you'll be successful. And I feel like a lot of people, they don't want to do it. Like they take the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
And it's the adversity, it's the struggle that you see growth come from.
Absolutely. I think, guys, that's great advice. Keep learning. What are you learning? What are you listening to? What are you feeding your brain and your body? Stop watching the damn news. I can tell you right now, it may rain, it may not rain. Look up. Is there clouds? Oh, there's going to be traffic. Great. Let's look at that every morning. That's important. Like don't stop feeding your stuff or feeding your brain with just toxicity that's out there and keep learning. I appreciate that. Bobby, where can people find you?
Well, you can go to my website, bobbyhicks.net. That's kind of like my my just general website about myself, about me. I've got content there that I produce on a weekly basis. So if you want to learn more about Indiview Media or web design or anything like that, that's our web design agency. There's links to that as well. For financial marketing, if you are a financial publishing client, you're looking to generate more leads. We do media buys and that sort of thing. You can go to traffictitans.co, and we can, start talking from there.
Awesome. Well, Bobby, thank you so much for dropping your knowledge with us today.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to have the opportunity. Thank you.
Life Nation, you got to remember that in order for things to change, you must change. And in order for things to get better, you must get better. You just got better by hanging out with me, Michael Libas, and the Business and Life Nation. So come back tomorrow because I'm here dropping sound bombs 7 days a week, baby. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so you can take action and execute. See you tomorrow.